and welcome to OTC. I'm your host, Buddy1927. Today we are going to be talking about all the perks that the crew members can learn in the World of Tanks. Um, Before I get going into the perks, I want to explain something. A couple people have asked me, what is the difference between a skill and a perk? Well, the major difference between a skill and perk is a skill, once you start learning it, once you check skill on that thing, say camouflage, and you got 0%, and then each battle increases the percentage or the learning of that skill, that skill is actually active. Depending on what percent is how much active that skill is until you reach 100%, which you get then 100% of the benefit of that skill. Now, a perk doesn't become active until you reach 100%. One of the things I like doing is, I'll give you an example. In my commander, on my TDs or SPGs, one thing that I do is I will learn camouflage on the commander for the first skill. And the reason why I do this is, as that skill is progressing, I get the benefit of the camouflage skill. So once it reaches 100%, what I would do is I'll go to my skills and training and then drop the skills and perks that I've learned. We pay the 200 gold because it costs you 200 gold, and then would put in 6 cents. Then have the commander start retraining in camouflage. The reason why I do that is because the perk doesn't become effective until it reaches 100%. Once I train in camouflage 100%, I drop the skill, I put the 6 cents in there, it's now at 100%. And while I was grinding that commander in that tank, it was benefiting from the skill of camouflage to help camouflage the tank. And once I drop it, put the 6 cents and have him start retraining the camouflage. Yes, I lost the camouflage skill, but he's now retraining, and it is cumulative. As it goes up, it increases the camouflage rating. So I actually killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Now I got 6 cents, which allows me to say, hey, idiot, you've been spotted. Move. Okay? But that's one of the things that I do, and that's the major difference between skills and perks. So let's go ahead and get into this, and we'll go ahead and discuss the perks. Okay, our first perk is Brothers in Arms. Brothers in Arms perk increases by a fixed 5% the training level of each one of the crew members in their major qualification and any of the common skills. Now, the major qualifications is what they are. Like commander, once he reaches 100% in his commander, he can start learning skills and perks. That's his qualification. He's commander, so he gets a bonus of 5% in that. If he's a driver, he gets a bonus. His driver gets a 5% bonus in his driving ability. Now, the common skills is only 3 common skills, which is repair, firefighting, and camouflage. So, if you learn Brothers in Arms, you get an increase of 5% to your repairs if you have that learned, firefighting if you have that learned, or camouflage if you have that learned. Now, there is one skill that the commander can learn called Mentor, which also increases that skill by 5%. No other skill or perks actually benefit from Brothers in Arms or get a boost in it. Only basically repairs, firefighting, camouflage, and the mentor skill, which is learned by that, and their major qualifications. Now, there is one catch to Brothers in Arms, and a lot of people misunderstand this. I've had people in my clan and also out of the clan that I've talked to that say, "Oh, I put Brothers in Arms on my commander, and my commander has improved 100% and I'm doing a lot better and all that. I said, oh, so all your crew members have learned Brothers in Arms. Oh, no, 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 this my commander has improved that. One of the qualifications is that all crew members, that's right, all your crew members must be 100% in Brothers in Arms before it takes effect. Now, there is uh, one piece of equipment that does benefit by that, and that's improved ventilation. So actually you improve ventilation by 5%. There are a couple consumables, depending on what nation that you have, that your crew member is what consumable works with that crew member. You have extra combat rations, case of Coca-Cola, chocolate, pudding and tea, strong coffee, or improved combat rations. Once again, depending on what nation your crew member is what of those consumables that he can have, but it increases them by 5%. I hope this explains Brothers in Arms. Okay, the next perk we're learning is learned by the commander. It's called Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense enables the commander to know if the vehicle has been detected by the enemy. Okay, and it is indicated by the light bulb, which is shown right here. That lets you know that, hey, you've been spotted. You can get different mods if you watch my review of any of my NAFTA reviews, that you'll see a blue smiley face. That's my form. You can get different mods depending on which ones you want. Now, there is a 3-second delay from the time you are spotted to the time that light bulb pops. And some people say, hey, my Sixth Sense never worked. I got blown away and my Sixth Sense never said, hey, you've been spotted. Well, there's that 3-second delay. So once you've been spotted, they fire, you got shot within that 3-second window. So basically, once the Sixth Sense pops up, you need to move. That means you've been spotted, you need to move. Now, the indicator will stay on for about a couple seconds. Once that indicator goes off, does not mean you haven't been unspotted. So, and unfortunately, there's nothing that will allow you to know if you've been unspotted. Just make sure you reposition and get into different concealment. This perk, is primarily useful for TDs, SPGs, and passive scouts. This skill can also be learned later on for heavy tanks and medium tanks. It also depends on your style of play. I play medium tank as a sniper because I'm going down the Japanese line, and it's actually a sniper tank. So I actually have Sixth Sense on my commander as one of the first skills. It lets me know. So it's not just limited to TDs and SPGs in passive scouts. It depends on how you play your tank, whether or not how important this perk is for your commander. Unfortunately, there's no equipment or consumables that benefit from this perk. Okay, the next perk we're learning is also learned only by the commander. It's called Eagle Eye. The Eagle Eye perk enables the commander to identify any critical damaged modulus on a target enemy vehicle after a delay of 4 seconds. Indicators for the damaged modules will appear below the target vehicle, allowing you to target them for further damage. It will only work for enemies that you have spotted, not for any enemies that other players on your team have spotted. It is primarily useful for snipers and in some cases flankers. Unfortunately, there is no equipment or consumables that work with this perk. The next perk we are learning is for the gunner only. It's called Deadeye. The Deadeye perk enables the gunner to increase a fixed amount of 3% chance that the shot will critically damage the enemy vehicle module or the crew of that tank. It only works with the AP, APCR, or heat shells. It does not work with the HE shells. Now, only one gunner can benefit from this perk, so if you have two gunners on your tank, have one of them learn Deadeye, have the other one learn a different perk, and then you can have them vice versa. Because if one of your gunners gets killed, they benefit from both perks if both of them have learned the perks at different times. There's one. If this is combined with the Eagle Eye perk, the one we just went over, you'll be able to get a good idea of how well this perk is working. Unfortunately, there's no equipment or consumables that work with this perk. Okay, the next perk we are learning is for the gunner. It's called Designated Target. The Designated Target perk enables the gunner to make a targeted enemy vehicle within a 10 degrees of your reticle remain visible for more than 2 seconds than it would normally remain visible. The perk only works while in arcade mode or sniper view and does not work with SPG's strategic view. However, any allied vehicle will benefit from a teammate's use of this perk, including SPG's strategic view. Now, if you have two gunners, only one of them will benefit from this perk. So have one learn, if you have two gunners, have one learn Deadeye, the other one learn Designated Target. This perk is primarily useful for snipers and in some cases some scouts. There's no equipment or consumables that actually work from this perk. The next perk we're going over is for the driver. It's called Preventative Maintenance. The Preventative Maintenance enables the driver to reduce by 25% the chance of the engine catching on fire by preventing gasoline or oil leakage in the engine compartment. Basically, if you have a tank that catches on fire a lot, mainly the Russian and the German lines, it reduces the chance of your engine catching on fire by 25%. Now, there is one consumable, and it's a premium consumable. It's called the Automatic Fire Extinguisher that actually helps put the fire out a lot quicker, works along with the preventative maintenance. Okay, the next perk we are learning is for the radio operator, and it is called Call for Vengeance. The Call for Vengeance perk enables the radio operator to continue to report enemy position for an additional 2 seconds after the destruction of his own vehicle. Now, if you have two radio operators, only one of them can utilize this perk, so only have one of them learn this perk. If you have both of them learn it, you're actually wasting a slot for one of your perks. This is primarily useful for scouts. There's no equipment or consumables that work along with this perk. Our next perk is learned by the loader. It's called the Safe Storage. The Safe Storage perk enables the loader to stow the rounds in the storage rack in such a way that they do not become in contact with each other. It increases the durability of the ammo rack by 12.5%. So basically, it decreases your chances of being ammo racked by 12.5%. Now, if you have two loaders on your tank, only one of them actually benefits from this perk. So have one learn safe storage, the other one learn a different perk. There is one piece of equipment called wet ammo rack that works along with safe storage. Now, if you have a loader learning this is good for tanks that get ammo racked a lot, mainly the Russian heavy tanks that get ammo racked a lot. This perk will actually benefit that tank along with the wet ammo rack piece of equipment that works along with it. Our next perk is learned by the loader. It's called Autoline Rush. The Autoline Rush enables the loader to shorten the time to reload the gun by 9.1% if the vehicle has less than 10% of its hit points left. Now, if you have two loaders on your tank, only one of them can benefit from this perk. So have one of them learn this perk and the other one learn a different perk or skill. Now, there is one piece of equipment that does work with this. It's called a tank rammer, and this will also help speed the load time of the gun. Okay, we're at our last perk. It's for the loader. It's called Intuition. The Intuition perk creates a 17% chance that the loader will magically and instantly switch the shell type to the best choice for doing damage, regardless whether the gun is loaded and ready to fire or in the middle of the process of loading. Now, if you have two loaders, you can have both of them learn this perk. If you have both of them learn this perk, it actually increases the chance by 34%. The perk only works if you have more than one ammo shell type on board and available. After the perk takes effect, the gun must completely be reloaded before it can take effect again. There's no equipment or consumables that work with this perk. Okay, over the past couple of episodes, we have talked about the skills and perks of the crew and what they can learn. I hope this has helped explain how the skills and perks work together, also work with the equipment that you might have on your tank, and also work with the consumables you might have on your tanks. There's one thing I definitely want to make clear to everyone. There's no one that can tell you how to set up your skills and perks. Okay, there's a lot of variables that actually take effect in your skills and perks. The first variable is the type of tank that you're playing. There are 5 different types of tanks. There are light tanks, medium tanks, heavy, tank destroyers, and SPGs. So depending on what type of tank that you have will help determine what type of skill and perk that you need on your crew members. The other variable is how you play that tank. Okay, are you a brawler? Are you a scout? Are you a sniper? Are you a run and shoot? Hit and run? Are you an SPG? So those are the other variables you got to take in consideration is how you play those tanks. Okay, the third consideration that you might want to take in effect is if you're grinding on a specific line and you're hopping the tank from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3 all the way up to tier 10. By level 6 you might have 1 or 2 perks or skills or perks that you've learned, and it might be working great on that skill on that tier level 6 tank, those 1 or 2 skills or perks. But when you get to tier 10, those skills and perks might not be as important as other skills and perks for that level tier 10 tank. So you also want to take that in consideration. So I would not, if somebody told me this is the way you need to set it up, period, the end, they're full of crap. Okay? Now you can take recommendation. Talk to the more experienced players in your clan, or more experienced players that you know that play the game World of Tanks. What they might do might work for you, but also what might work for them might not work for you. So take that in consideration. I hope you're enjoying these episodes of OTC. If you are, please like us on YouTube. In our next episode, we'll be wrapping up the crew members. We'll be going over managing the skills and perks of the crew members, the training levels of the crew members, the bonuses and penalties of the crew members, the effective training levels of the crew members, and the ranks of the crew members. Do me a favor, save some tanks on the battlefield for me. You all have a good day.